Hey everyone, and welcome back to Shadow and Light. Today we're talking about something I know a little too well, trying to control everything. Gripping the steering wheel so tightly that you forget you're the one driving yourself crazy. So today we're going to talk about what happens when we finally loosen our grip, let go of what we can't control, and learn that sometimes we don't have to be the one driving every part of our lives. So buckle up or don't, because today we're letting go of the wheel. Why was this way made? I created this way because I needed to realize I was trying to control things that didn't need to be controlled. I want to help people to realize and also help myself that we can let go of things and not control them. For a long time, I thought I had to be in control of the way people see me. So whether they like me or not, I needed to control everything about my physical space, whoever comes in and whoever comes out. But sometimes I go to the extreme of wanting to control other people's lives. For example, a friend of mine is in a not so healthy relationship. I wish I could decide for her to leave, but I can't. I believe that if I could control my own life and other people's life, that I would be happy. But I am wrong. Instead of making things better, trying to control everything caused me stress, anxiety, and pushed people away because they felt like I was trying to control their lives. One thing I didn't realize at the time was that I can't control shit. I couldn't control shit. I can't control shit. I can only control how much time and energy I give it. I'm trying to, I was, I am trying to control shit that isn't mine to control. I think part of the reason I held onto the wheel so tightly was that I thought I was helping my anxiety that I had internally by distracting myself with other people's stuff. I feared disappointment, so I turned to chaos because that's what I was used to. But all of us can be different. I don't know about you, but I can have peace in my life. I can push the people away from me who cause more pain than safety or more stress than peace. When I say letting go of the wheel, I don't mean not caring anymore. I don't mean not putting in any effort. I don't mean tolerating bullshit from people. I don't mean not setting boundaries and following through with them. It does not mean going around and pretending everything is fine. To me, letting go of the wheel means only controlling the effort that I put into things, my attitude towards those things, and having boundaries. I'm going to let go of the outcome that happens. I am letting go of other people's choices. I am letting go of the past, mistakes, what ifs, old friendships, family expectations. I'm learning that I can control the way I talk to myself. I can control how I view certain situations. I can control where I put my effort and attention. I can control my daily routine. I can choose to speak honestly and not lie. I can control my boundaries and following through with them. The biggest thing this way has taught me so far is life will move forward without my micromanagement. I learned that outcomes will unfold most of the time better if I do not control every part of the aspect. Apparently, trying to control everything was not working out for me, so I figured maybe it was time to start gripping the steering wheel like my life depended on it. Because clearly, I was the one driving myself straight into chaos. What did holding the wheel look like to me? When I think about what holding on to the wheel looked like for me, I think about trying to control every outcome possible. I was overthinking everything. I was, and sometimes still, struggle with needing reassurance from other people, making sure that they aren't mad at me. I'm trying to play Captain Fix It and fix everything and everyone, and I refuse to let anyone help me. I would try to control situations by overplanning, so scripting conversations before I talk to people, focusing on the details, and doing things obsessively. I would try to control other people's actions or reactions by people pleasing, walking on eggshells, and over explaining myself if I have to say no. For example, someone asked me if I could cover them in a virtual Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and I say no because I have to cook dinner and clean the house, blah, 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 blah. They don't need to know that. One thing I would worry about way too much was making the wrong decisions. I overthought a choice until I was blue in the face because out of fear and the unknown, it would ruin so many things for me. But I'm trying to live by the motto of giving it a specific amount of time, for example, 10 minutes, to think about something and then making the decision because I have decision paralysis. It affected my life in multiple areas. For example, I was constantly exhausted and never had energy for anything else. I lost people in my life. I always lived in the future and never in the now. I'm trying to focus on what is in front of me. I had fear of taking risks, but that is all a part of life. But controlling everything was not working for me. And honestly, sometimes I was basically trying to be the driver, GPS, mechanic, traffic cop, and the entire highway system at the same time. A story of mine. One of the biggest examples of me trying to control everything happened when I got into relationships. I replay conversations, I overthink every text message, I try to predict what someone is going to do right before they do it. I would think if I say this instead of that, or do everything right, nothing will fall apart. Looking back, I realized something. I wasn't trying to control the people. I was trying to control the potential of being hurt. I was trying to control my disappointment or the sense of being let down. I thought that I could stay one step ahead of everything and prevent things. But the problem with trying to control everything is that you eventually realize that life doesn't give a shit about your plans. People have their own feelings and minds. Relationships don't always go the way we hope. Life throws curveballs at us. We just have to roll with it. No matter how tightly we grip on the steering wheel, we still can't control the road. One of the hardest things for me is not knowing that's going to happen doesn't mean that something bad will happen. Sometimes good things happen and I didn't even know it was going to happen. Sometimes not knowing is just not knowing. Sometimes something doesn't work out, but it doesn't mean that I failed. Even when I do everything I possibly can, the outcome is different than I planned. It's fucking terrifying when you believe everything depends on you. At first, letting go feels like you are giving up, but it's really saying, I can care without being controlling. I can love someone without trying to predict what they do. I can make plans without demanding life. Demanding life makes them happen. I can be scared without feeling like I need to fix everything. But most importantly, I don't have to hold on to the wheel so tightly that I forget I'm allowed to actually enjoy the ride. I'm trying to learn this myself because I don't want to sit here and pretend and act like I have all my shit together. There are moments where my brain wants to grab the wheel and go, nope, we're taking over. But now I am trying to pause, breathe, and ask myself, is this situation mine to control? If the answer is no, maybe I don't have to keep fighting with it. Maybe I can loosen the grip. Maybe life can drive itself. And if I start trying to grab the wheel again, I need to remind myself, I'm not qualified to drive this damn thing. What did I learn? Looking back at everything I've experienced, I've learned that controlling everything was my way of trying to feel safe. I wanted to be able to have power. I can't control how other people feel about me, even if I'm loving, supportive, and genuine. I can't make someone stay. Overthinking doesn't give me control. Trying to prevent every possible hurt actually creates more suffering. Sometimes I don't have to fix everything. Someone else's choices aren't automatically my responsibility. Letting go doesn't mean I don't care. It just means I know I can't force the outcome. I can prepare for the future, but I cannot control it. One thing I control is how I respond to things. I can't control what someone says, what they do, they stay or leave, what happens next, or how a situation is going to turn out. But I can control is acting immediately or pausing. I can control whether I shut down or communicate. I can control the boundaries I set. I can control if I keep pushing myself and putting myself in situations that hurt me. I can also control what I do with my feelings. I want to remind myself I can't control the road. I can't control the other people in the car. And I sure as hell can't control where every turn takes me. But I can control what I do when I get there. The hardest part is I cannot control the outcome. But the freeing part is that I don't have to carry the responsibility for things that aren't mine to control. I am learning that sometimes I just need to stay in my own damn lane and let everybody else drive their own car. Let's talk about you. As you've been listening today, maybe you've realized that you're holding on to a few things a little too tightly. Maybe you're trying to control people and outcomes. Maybe you're worrying too much about what people think of you. Trust me, I relate. I feel like everyone is spending all day thinking about me, but 99% of the time, that is not true. I could spend my whole life trying to make sure everybody understands me, approves of me, and never gets upset with me. Or I could finally accept that other people's opinions are not my steering wheel. Can I ask you a few questions? What are you trying to control right now? Is this something you actually have control over? Or is it something you're trying to control because you're afraid of what might happen? What do you think you're afraid of will happen if you let go? What will happen if instead of trying to control the outcome, you focused on what you can control? Are you carrying something that was never actually yours to carry? Are you trying to fix something or someone that you don't have the power to fix? What would your life look like if you stopped trying to control everything and start trusting yourself a little bit more? Don't worry, I have to answer all of these questions myself. But I want you to remember you don't have to control everything to be okay. Sometimes letting go isn't about giving up, it's about finally giving yourself permission to breathe. And if you're anything like me, you might be thinking, okay, but what if I let go and everything falls apart? Well, maybe it won't. And if it does, we'll figure it out. Because apparently that's what we've been doing this whole damn time anyway. This week's challenge. Before we end today's episode, I want to give you a challenge for this week. I want you to try to stop being a control freak. I know it won't happen overnight because let's be honest, because we both know that you're going to try to control the process of letting go anyway. Instead, I want you to start paying attention to the moments when you notice yourself trying to control something. This week, I want you to notice when you're trying to control. When you catch yourself doing it, I want you to stop yourself and ask, is this actually something I can control? I also want you to write down one thing you're going to choose to let go of this week and one thing you are going to take responsibility for. At the end of the week, ask yourself, what happened when I loosened my grip? Did letting go make things worse, or did it give me a peace of mind? My reminder to myself and to you is that you don't have to have control for everything to be okay. Because sometimes the goal isn't to stop caring, it's to stop trying to control what was never ours to control in the first place. And if you find yourself grabbing that steering wheel again, take a breath, loosen your grip, and remember, you're a passenger. Sometimes you don't have to drive this damn thing. If there's one thing that I hope you take away from today's episode, it's this. You don't have to control everything. Sometimes you just have to trust yourself enough to let go. I'm learning this myself, but I'm learning that pace can come when I stop trying to drive every part of my life. So loosen your grip, take a breath, and remember, thank you for spending time with me today. I'll see you next time on Shadow and Light. And remember, sometimes the best thing you can do is get out of the driver's seat of someone else's life. Till next time.